Hi everybody, welcome to the Steckline Report. MF Global, I'm kind of tired talking about it, but we got to bring it up every once in a while, folks. As you all know by now, the $600 million loss that they thought that this outfit had when they closed up and filed for bankruptcy has now grown to double that, $1.2 billion. And futures trading, which caters, of course, to a lot of farmers in this country as well as to hedge funds, was left largely untouched when U.S. lawmakers took on Wall Street after the financial crisis there. Maybe they should have included more here. In any event, as regulators hunt for $1.2 billion in missing customer money, clients are aiming their anger at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange Group. For decades, commodities and futures trading firms have been largely policed by the exchanges where they are traded, setting up a potential conflict of interest. And so, folks, don't be surprised if there isn't some legislation or some people looking into this thing pretty strongly after this terrible situation. There's some people out there that may never recover. I thought originally we had heard that most of the exchanges would take up the slack and there wouldn't be any losses to the people themselves who are trading with this company. But that may not be the story. When it's all over, the smoke clears, we'll see what happens. Well, the WTO said the U.S. must change their meat industry standards, requiring that country of origin labeling be stated on meat products, ruling that that regulation discriminated against Canada and Mexico. Years ago when this was being proposed, I was one that fought hard on the air for meat labeling. I will continue to do that. I think it's a sure sign cinch now that it's a tremendous success for the U.S. The Canadians have complained about this since day one. Well, since we're not paying much for Canadian dollars in their economy, I think I'm going to worry about the U.S. Very obvious. They keep hammering at this thing, and it's hurting their economy because we're not getting nearly as much stuff shipped in from Canada, and our U.S. producers should be taking advantage of that and are. In the meantime, we remain committed to providing consumers with accurate and relevant information with respect to the origin of meat products that they buy at the retail level. That, according to Andre Meade, press secretary of the U.S. Trade Representatives, and they're going to consider all options to fight it, and my hat's off to them. We need to do just exactly that, even though some of our better farm organizations don't believe in it. Oh, by the way, the Supreme Court had plenty of backing to block a California law that requires slaughterhouses to immediately euthanize livestock that can't walk it to its own demise. A clear majority of justices agreed with the National Meat Association that California's 2009 law that would violate a federal statute sets national standards for meat safety and gives its inspectors the final word on what to do about non-ambulatory livestock. California passed that law after the Humane Society released a video of so-called downer livestock. Remember that being shocked and dragged by slaughterhouse workers? Folks, that's not just a California issue, that's a U.S. issue, so don't forget that. As we look at the last crop production report out of USDA, we don't see much news there that could give us any idea where we're going for 2012 markets, livestock and grain markets. I'm going to kind of take a look at that in detail coming up in our next 2 or 3 Steckline reports here on American Ag Credit. So be aware of that. I'll just tell you that right now. Oh, by the way, we've got an important issue. Department of Labor wants to make it illegal for 16-year-olds to work on farms unless they're kids of the owner of the farm. You might want to talk about that with your congressmen or senators too. That's the way it is at this hour on this Steckline Report. More coming up, including what we think markets are going to do later. Stay tuned.